Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Good to see everybody. I hope you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. I know I have. It's been a time to be with family and friends and be thankful. Thankful for all the wonderful blessings that we've had over this past year. And real quick, you guys tell me how I look and sound. Give me that 5x5 there in the chat if everything's going all right and looking good. Right now, the stream seems to be pretty healthy as far as the streaming goes. I know I've had some streaming issues in the past couple of times that I've been on, but today seems to be a very good day. Thank you there, Jim, for the 5x5. I want to say hello real quick to those who have shown up so far in the chat. I've got Jim Largo in the house. Grindhead Jim was the first one to come in, saying greetings earlier today. And Largo here. We got Gojutron. Good to see you, Gojutron. Yes, us guys again. And Nolan's in the house. Good to see you, Nolan. Hi, Bill and chat. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I did. And did a little toy hunting on Black Friday. I've got some video from that I'm going to cut together and release at some point. Should be fun. Shaitan's Hammer is in. Good to see you, Shaitan's Hammer. Good to see you. Hello. And yep, I look pretty as a picture. Thank you so much, Largo. Appreciate that. And real quick, I want to shout out my Patreons and just tell them how much I appreciate them. We have Grindhead Jim, Pope, Will McLaughlin, Jim Largo, our own Rolo at Masters Maniac Mexico, and Bjorn Jorgensen. Without the help of these Patreons, this show would be impossible. If you would like to support the show, please go to patreon.com/weirdfantastictoys. And any little bit would help, and I appreciate it. You can also tip on Streamlabs. The Streamlab tips are open. Weird Fantastic Toy Adventure /tip over at streamlabs.com. And back to me. Get me back on the screen. Here we go. So it's good to see everybody today. Today's show, we're going to take a look at the Road Ripper. We're going to get it open and just have a good time looking at that and talk about maybe what I'm going to be doing next week. And I have something special I might show y'all here towards the end. I don't want to go on too long today. I know sometimes I can tend to go on for 2 to 3 hours, and I really want to try to keep it down to maybe an hour and a half at the most today. I've got my wife's here with me, and I kind of want to spend what little bit of the last day off that I have with her. But I do enjoy each and every one of you. You're all dear friends of mine, and I love having you in the chat and interacting here with me. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and pull up the toy cam here and let y'all have a look at the old Road Ripper. Hey, Boba Hicks, I see you've popped in. Good to see you, sir, from Ireland. And Largo says it's the Road Ripper. Absolutely. This is the Road Ripper. I think it's been confirmed that Road Ripper is trademarked now, and they were unable to use that term for it, so they had to change it to Ground Ripper. But in our minds, it'll always be Road Ripper. Thousandth Ghost Toys is in. Hey guys, good to see you, Thousandth Ghost. So I might just go ahead and get started here. I've got Ye Oldie Knifey, and getting ready to head over towards the Ripper there and see if I can't get it open. And we're going to pull it out and take a look at what's in the package and kind of play around with it a little bit and see what's going on here with it. Got tape right here. There we go. All right. Hey, what's going on there, Largo?
Hey.
See you, man. Seems
Another
like
fun-filled Sunday.
Yeah, we were just talking. It seems like kind of strange. I'm kind of trying to get the old Road Ripper open here.
Yeah, it looks like it's a fairly good representation of the original. Is it the same mold, or did they tweak it a bit?
I think it's almost the same mold as far as I can tell, but I don't have a vintage Road Ripper here with me to compare. So bear with me while I'm trying to pull this out. I almost pulled the trigger on a Road Ripper here a while back, and this was before I even knew that this toy was going to be released. So, gosh, this is tough to get this to come out here.
Maybe some of y'all in the chat can let us know, how hard has it been to get the Road Ripper? Is it showing up in stores, or is it kind of a elusive thing?
Yeah, I'd love to know that too. I have not seen this thing in the stores, and I'll tell you guys this. Let's take a look at the box real quick before I actually open it up. I was told by BBTS, the Big Bad Toy Store, that this was going to be the international release box, but it's not. It's the American release box. Back here on the back, at the top, it says Mekaneck races the high-speed Ground Ripper to scout out evil enemies encroaching on the battlefield. And it looks like there's King Hiss and Tongue Lasher, I believe that is, here on the cliff. And you can see back here in the background, there is Eternia. You can see the Central Tower and the Snake Tower and Gray Skull Tower back there in the back.
They do tend to put some Easter eggs in the artwork for what's coming, don't they?
Yes, they do. Let me take my ugly face off the screen here where you can see everything that's back here, and tilt the camera down and bring this around where you can see it a little better.
Our buddy Boba Hicks is letting us know he was letting off a few Road Rippers this morning after drinking a lot of cider and having some nachos.
Wow. TMI, Boba Hicks. Swap to extend neck. Says replace with second mantle, which I don't understand even the inclusion of this. I know they're looking at trying to replace the action feature that's not in here, because the original Road Ripper, as everyone knows, had the ripcord in it and would zoom. As soon as you pull the ripcord out, you could put it down there and it would zoom away. But and it says here real racing action, and of course you can see the hand here is kind of pushing it. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's kind of similar with the Sky Sled, where they wanted to put a different headpiece to designate whether it was the good guys or the bad guys.
No, that's a good that's a thought. This may be for the bad guys to have a bad guy Road Ripper, perhaps. Maybe I don't know. Let me take that overlay off the bottom where you guys can see. All right, we got Rattlor, Cobra Khan, Bolt Man, Snake Armor He-Man, and of course our Ground Ripper, Road Ripper here with Mekaneck in the cross cell. On the sides here, it's kind of plain. Sometimes we see some little creatures sometimes in those cracks and stuff, but On this particular box, that's not the case. The sides are kind of, blah. The top here, we can see Mekaneck driving the Road Ripper with Castle Grayskull there in the corner in the background. Looks like an open lava crater there beside him. And of course, he's got his neck kind of extended there. So that's your front artwork. I'm going to attempt to pull this bad boy out of the box.
So this time around, there's no special action to pump his neck up. You have to just swap it out.
It's going to be a swappable neck. Here's the interior packaging as I remove the exterior packaging and put it away over here. We have Mekaneck here. We have his swappable neck piece here. So this would go on the ball joint that's here on his neck, and his head will pop onto this ball joint here. And we have his club. And due to Motu Joneser, I have found out that this has a secondary function, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Something that never even occurred to me when I was a kid. And here's our second mantle. That's what they're calling it to replace this one here. And let's see how everything is attached. We have our standard rubber bands in here that's kind of holding things down on the front part of that, and I'm just going to cut those. And I like that the bottom here has got these little turny pieces here, and
keeps it all secured.
Yeah, they've included arrows here for those of us who don't know which direction to turn them in to loosen them up. So that's going to help in there. I just felt it come loose there.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey. It's always the same.
Except when you're dealing with a fan screw. Fan screws go in the other direction.
Fair point. I didn't think of that.
And there's still one op. So the seat belt here is attached at this point here with forget what Motu Joneser called these things. He's got a name for these little gadgets here that
oh yeah. I got a few names for it too, but they're not polite for public consumption.
Not at all, because they tend to put holes in McFarlane capes, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
All right, so I got those loose, and that should bring the seat belt loose so that we can bring the Ripper out into the foreground here. I've got one of those rubber bands I've got to pull. There we go. Up, I mean, about to fall over. Bring it back here. All right, so here he is. I kind of was hoping that maybe there would be an internal engine in here, if you know what I mean. That would,
kind of like the old Superpowers Batmobile where it had a little clicker thing.
Yeah, but it's not. It just rolls. The wheels are made of plastic. They grip even on this the table here that I've got that's smooth. So it's a smooth table I've got it on here, and even with the smoothness of the table, they're actually turning as I move this. Let's see how well this head pops off. Okay, it's held on pretty well there, and it comes off easily enough, and it goes back on easily enough, and it's not loose. It stays on. And the original Ripper came with a seat belt, but as you can see, it has this attachment on this side, and it's actually permanently attached on this side. And if I'm not mistaken, on the vintage model, this piece here was on both sides, and it had a peg like this on this side for it to go in, so you could actually take the seat belt completely off if you wanted to. So this one here is permanently attached on this side. I wasn't expecting that. We'll set this off to the side, and we'll start pulling stuff out of here. I guess I'll start with the second mantle. They glued this on here, and what I'm going to do is because I kind of want to put this all back in this package. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take the X-Acto knife and kind of do one of these numbers so that I can pull this stuff out of here and then put it back down in there for display later.
Right. Just be careful, Bill.
Yeah, as long as I keep my finger out from where that knife is going, I should be just fine.
Yeah, I don't remember him doing much in the way of announcing this one. It just kind of popped up.
It did, and I was surprised at how quickly that it showed up for pre-order on the Big Bad Toy Store and the other sites that offered it.
It is kind of a shame, though, that they want to plug a figure in with it, because if you're going to buy multiples, then you don't need multiples of a Mekaneck. One is plenty.
Well, I don't think Mekaneck is as popular, a very popular figure, or at least he's not perceived as a popular figure. And I think he was included with this because they didn't think he would sell on his own. Perhaps. I mean, I'm just speculating at this point. That's kind of my speculation. Here is the extra mantle. It has controls stickers on one side. He's got some eyes and a mouth, but not a whole lot other than these stickers here in decoration on this thing. Let's see what it looks like on the front real quick. All right.
Yeah, I would guess that's supposed to be if the Snake Men are riding the Ripper or something.
Or the bad guy version of the Road Ripper.
Mm-hmm. I like that eagle head better.
Me too. I'm unimpressed with this. If I ever put this on display, I would probably want to display it as intended here. All right, so there's that. We'll place that off to the side, and I guess we'll start with the accessories and just work over towards Mekaneck there. So I guess I need to get on camera here so you can see that I'm just making an incision around the edge here.
Yeah, it's like Boba Hicks is saying they did the same thing with the Sky Sled and Adam. It's like, I don't need 6 Prince Adams, but I would like to have more than one Sky Sled.
Well, one of the nice things about the Sky Sled is it ended up getting having a clearance price in some of the places that it was offered, so that kind of helped.
Yeah, I like Goji's comment. Mekaneck is that guy in the movie theater that is always sitting in front of you. You're trying to see the screen.
Exactly. And I'll say this: I kind of like the fact that we do have Mekaneck here, because Mekaneck, with the addition of Mekaneck to my collection, I now actually have Origins versions of all of the original vintage figures that I had as a child.
Cool. Now, do you have everybody that showed up in the cartoon from Filmation?
No, I do not. I do not have all of those. And I also have a lot of Origins figures I never had as a child. But with the addition of Mekaneck, as far as humanoid figures, I have them all. The only other quote-unquote figure that I don't have would be Screech. They haven't released him yet. And I'm sure that's going to happen because all it is a repaint.
Mm-hmm.
So here is his club, and I've got a box back here on the other side over there. I'm not going to even pull out, but I have the original club for Mekaneck in my vintage box. But Mekaneck himself, my vintage Mekaneck, he has been lost to time. So I've been teased by his club for a number of years now. So it's kind of nice to have an actual figure of Mekaneck in hand.
It does have a peculiar opening on the top. Is that the thing you were going to tease us with later?
I am. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. And like I said, I want to shout out Motu Joneser for pointing that out. It's something that never even occurred to me, even when I was a kid, and that it would be used in such a fashion.
Greetings to Gap After Dark showing up, saying howdy.
Good to see you there, Gap. Glad you could join me today as I'm slowly pulling each piece out. Here is the neck piece coming out of the package here. And so I'll put it off to the side and continue working on getting a Mekaneck out over here. I'm kind of making surgical incisions around this plastic here with the X-Acto knife so that I can actually put these back in the package for storage.
With him, Bill, you might be able to just cut his little ties and keep his plastic on the box there so you can put him back on pretty easy. See where he's got some tie downs on his wrists and maybe his.
I see what you're saying there. Thanks for pointing that out. That I think you're right. So I don't
save you a little grief.
Thank you. My mind is not working properly. I stayed up far too late last night, and I'll just leave that at that.
Yeah, living on caffeine and nicotine will take a toll after a while.
Well, no matter how much energy or boost that you get from caffeine, you're gonna crash.
That's true. You're what we used to say, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're gonna have to pay the piper eventually.
All right, let's see if he's got some on his feet down there. I see them. Let's get his feet loosened up real quick. His
colors look pretty accurate from what I remember.
They are. I would imagine that if you had the vintage figure here in hand to look at, which like I said, I don't. I imagine that these colors here and possibly even the colors on this would be maybe a little darker on the vintage, as we've seen in the past. Mm-hmm. The Origins figures tend to be a bit more vibrant.
Yeah, I wonder if that's their way of trying to be closer to the cartoon, because the cartoon certainly used a lot of brighter colors.
I think you might be on to something there, Largo. You might be on to something. I didn't get these cut. I thought I did. There, I got that one. There, now he's loose. All right, let's put this knife away before something terrible happens.
Morning, right. Will from Wilhelm Toy and Hobby.
Hey, what's going on? He says, how is this possible? I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning. You guys were on. The less said about that, the better there, Will. Between Friday night hangout and live streams, you have been online more than you have slept in the last 36 hours. Yeah, exactly.
I've just got a USB cable. I just plug it in. I recharge. That's my secret.
Yeah, Largo, you tend to suffer from insomnia, do you not, sir?
I do. That's for sure.
All right, so this vest or armor piece here is made out of the more flexible plastic that we're used to on the Origins figures, unlike the original, which was hard plastic. Let's see how easy this is to take off, just for shits and giggles here.
Yeah, like Grindhead saying, he does seem a bit shiny. He's got
definitely more sheen as opposed to the matte. Maybe I better just take that head off. Yeah, standard buck, just like the original figure. It's just a repaint, guys. He's got silver boots. That looks like it's actually molded in this color. They're not painted. Okay.
Well, the good thing about that is if you want multiple road rippers, that's a good buck to do some customs.
Exactly. There's a lot you can do with this. As a matter of fact, you could use the blue, except for maybe the arms. I don't know, but you could use some of the blue here to make a custom Hordak figure.
Yeah, that'd be a good blue for Hordak.
And like I said, the original vintage figure, the boots were painted with a silver color, whereas they're kind of molded in that color here on the Origins version. I'm gonna put his armor back on here, which is also just a repaint of what was released earlier with Stinkor.
Right. I keep threatening to do a custom Motu Superman, and that would be a good buck to start with. And swap out the crotch piece and the boots.
They kind of released some DC figures in vintage Motu style here a while back. I forget the toy
They
company.
did. It was Funko, and they were called Primal Age. Unfortunately, the
Yes.
construction on those was not great. They weren't the same quality of plastic, but the idea was cool.
Yeah,
So
I got
I'd like to try to do something a little different with these new.
tiny flaw here in the molding of the neck joint here, but I think I can live with that because that's not something we'll see normally. And this piece here, I guess, just snaps on like this, and it moves. It's got some movement to it. So and this snaps on like this, and it's on pretty sturdy. So you get some of this movement here that you wouldn't have got with the original figure.
Yeah,
So
that's different.
there he is with his neck extended. And let's go ahead and put his club in his hand here. And we're going to talk about the special feature of that I didn't think about. And like I said, Motu Joinger pointed this out. Let's see if we can get him to hold it properly in his hand. So we got to extend this up. And we've got to put this in his hand like that and bring it maybe up to his eye.
Ah, I see.
So now he has a telescope there in his hand to kind of look through and see.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That kind of works.
Wilhelm Toy Hobby says he reminds me of Plastic Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Grindhead says he looks like he's happy to see you. Huh. And of course, we jinxed each other. Grindhead was talking about custom Hordak pieces. I guess at the same time I was. Yeah. I'm going to put his club in his hand like this. I'm going to leave his neck extended, and we're going to see how well he sits here in the seat. The only gripe I ever had with the Road Ripper was there are no handlebars. So how are they steering this thing? Are they steering it with their feet?
I'd imagine.
All right,
it's science and magic. Maybe they're using their telepathy or something.
Somehow, some way, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to try to see if I can.
I'm guessing it has more to do with the Mattel engineers just trying to figure out how to get those original Motu guys to sit down, and putting handlebars probably wasn't going to work.
Well, true, but the original Ripper never had handlebars either.
Right.
So in my play, I'm gonna pretend that they're steering it with their feet. That you push this way to go this way, and push this way to go that way, maybe.
Sure, that leaves their hands open for melee.
Exactly. Oh, he dropped his club. I'm trying to get him into a action pose here with his club in his hand, and let's see how that looks there.
Not bad. I was kind of hoping the Masterverse figures would fit on there, but it doesn't look like they'd have enough room for their feet.
I can't tell, but it doesn't. You may have to play with that just a little bit there, Largo, to get that to happen.
They are considerably taller.
That's true. But yeah, there he is, folks. I kind of want to monkey with his feet a little bit to make them look a little more natural in the position there.
Grindhead's getting philosophical on us. Says no one drives the Road Ripper. It rips wherever it may road.
There you go. There you go. And does it have a rip cord? No, it doesn't, Will. That was probably one of the big gripes that I had, was they did not even include a friction motor inside of it, so that you could, even with no rip cord, make it move of its own accord, but just by kind of pushing it along a couple of times on the floor and letting go of it. But it you know,
yeah,
like
the 80s were big on putting gadgets and everything, and some of them were unnecessary. But the Road Ripper having that pull cord, that was a cool feature.
It was a very nice feature. Of course, we used to race the road rippers, and things like that. I never
Mm-hmm.
had one myself. I always kind of wanted one. And I almost pulled the trigger before I knew this thing was going to get released. I almost pulled the trigger and bought a vintage road ripper. They're still available at reasonable prices in reasonable condition. The problem is that most of the ones that you see on the big auction site are missing their rip cords.
Right. What would have been really neat is if they'd done an Evil Knievel style where they had the wind up thing. You put him on
Yeah,
there and wind him up and send him off. I always love that.
yeah. Gojitron says the Road Ripper has an AI that sounds like William Daniels and drives itself. That sounds familiar. Grindhead Jim says, I want nachos, Michael. We are going to the nacho place.
There you go.
And you have to say that in Kit's voice.
Yep.
But anyway, that takes care of our Road Ripper. If anybody's got any questions, just pop those into the chat. I'd be more than happy to show off something that you want me to show on the figure or to answer a question about what we see here. But pretty much what you see is what you get. You've got a Mekaneck who has no actual action feature. You have to pop a neck joint in place. I have seen in a couple of places, I want to say maybe on Etsy. No, I take that back. It was on Facebook. And the guy had a Shapeways store that he was selling these through. If you know what Shapeways is, it's a place that will do the 3D printing for you, and for a nominal fee, you can buy whatever the guy's offering there. But you could get neck pieces to look more like the Filmation version of Mekaneck. And the way it was set up, you had stage 1 and stage 2, so you could actually have a longer extension on the neck.
Right. Grindhead's wondering if you'd put that other head on there now that you've got Mekaneck in the pilot seat.
More than happy to do that for you there, Jimbo.
Well, Bill, I'm going to mosey on and get some coffee, but Orko was telling me you might have a little treat for us later. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. When we get finished here, I think I'm going to show a little magic trick and then cut it short for today.
Cool.
All right,
I'll catch you in the near future.
All right, thanks, man. Always a pleasure to have you on there, Jim Largo. It helps to have somebody to talk with while you're showing off. We got Will saying, do you ever feel like a plastic bag floating in the wind? Sometimes. And Jim, Grindhead Jim, here you go, man. I put the alternate head on the front. I think Largo and I were speculating that this might be so that you can make a bad guy ripper. But unfortunately, with the inclusion of an action figure, I like Mekaneck here, even though he's got the standard buck and you could use him for making custom figures and whatnot. You'd have to buy another Mekaneck and to get another Road Ripper. So, and Jim says he likes that alternate front, a lick of paint, and it sounds like I need to get a second one. Okay. I know that the ones that they had available on BBTS, I think they sold out with the initial pre-order. They may get some more. We don't know. Shapeways is a dangerous place. Lots of cool stuff on there. I got a 3D printed Micronauts bug figure. Yes, you're absolutely right. And by dangerous, what he means is it's dangerous in that you will spend a lot of money getting some of those 3D printed stuff from them, because the prices on there are a little expensive, but it's because the Shapeways is doing the 3D printing for you. Jim says, I have an open pre-order for one at BBTS. I'll snag one once they get to retail. Yeah, and I'm wondering where they'll be at retail, because, the Stradors finally made it to Walmart and Target. The Rotons finally made it to Walmart. I have not seen a Roton at Target. But then again, I've only been in a Target store once this year, and that was on Black Friday. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of expected to see some Road Rippers right here before Christmas in Walmart if they were going to come to Walmart, and I did not. So I don't know. Don't know how that's going to work out for us. But there we go. I'm going to bring the cam back over to me. And if you guys have any more questions about it, about now is the time to ask them before I move on, because I got a special treat for you guys. The other day, we were having a little private session over at Grindhead Jim's Patreon, and I was showing them a magic trick, and I put a little blurb in there about my buddy Di Vernon, who is a mentor to a lot of us magicians, and I didn't have a very good connection that day, and so I recut the whole thing and redid the magic trick and made an actual video. And I have not uploaded it yet. I may upload that today, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to just put it on YouTube and Twitch, or whether I'm just going to put it on YouTube, or how I'm going to do that. I may need some help with that, Jim, when it comes to the Twitch. I don't know how to do that on Twitch. Shaitan's Hammer says I might get an old Roton on eBay. They go for cheap. Talking about a vintage Roton. That might be interesting. And hey, Susudio, we had a good chat last night. That whole thing went on for too long, and a lot was said. So that's not still up. But good to see you this morning. Grindhead says Shaitan's Hammer. Having seen the Motu Origins Roton in person, I have to say that I far prefer the new one. Yeah, the new Roton is much bigger than the vintage one, and I like the shiny sheen to it. It's really nice. I think I showed that off on the show right after I got mine. But it would have been 38 minutes. If anybody, we got Boba Hicks here, says still haven't seen an Origins Roton over here. Yeah, that's over in Ireland. And no, I don't know how it the distribution is working overseas. I know that if you guys missed out on Wave 2 figures, they have re-released those. I saw Manny faces in Target, but I did not see any of the other figures. But they're coming out there. No, you were okay, Susudio. It was the other guest that I had on, Steve. I think he kind of got a little overline, but and I apologize for some of that. But less said, the better. No one says. Still haven't seen any Rotons in Canada yet. Yeah, Radical Toys is telling me the same thing. There's a lot of things he's not been seeing up there. See, Gojatron saying the new Roton is cool, but I have no use for the canopy cage or the Kabuki mask face. I can understand that. But that's kind of an Easter egg for those of us who had the model kit, which is based on the original prototype, which did. Tickets in the house. Hey, Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures and all. Good afternoon. Good to see you there, Ticket. And Susudio understood. Thank you so much. Shaitan's Hammer. I noticed the Wind Raider is much bigger than vintage. Yeah, a lot of the Origins versions of these are just not repops at all. They're actually brand new sculpts and sculpted a lot larger and than the original vintage toys. However, the look of this Road Ripper looks like more. I'm sure it's not a repop. I'm sure it's a whole new sculpt, but it looks about the same size as the original Ripper. It doesn't look like it's any bigger. But yeah, Ticket and Susudio and some of you other guys who have shown up a little later in the stream. Today's stream is, I said it wasn't going to be as long. I didn't want to really do much more than open this Road Ripper up and show off the Mekaneck figure with Road Ripper and talk about it a little bit. And I had a special treat. Largo was saying Orko had told him that I might do some magic for you guys, and that's what we're going to end on today. I'm going to let that play, and then after that, cut the show short and go ahead and play the outro. Boba Hicks saying you could probably fit a Masterverse figure in the Origins. I've actually seen that on a couple of toy shows. Might have been Todd over there at Hebrew had done that. Wilhelm says, with how much you've been streaming, I'm surprised you're still awake. Well, I actually took a nap. I haven't been awake this whole time. I got about 4 hours between the end of last night's show, up all night, and this morning's show. So anyway, we're gonna play a quick little magic trick, and then I'm going to go ahead and move that straight into the outro. So I'll go ahead and say now, together we shall triumph. And here we go. I'm going to twist those aces for you guys. I want to do a little tribute to a great hero of mine, Di Vernon, today on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Di Vernon, aka the Professor, was a Canadian magician. His sleight of hand technique and knowledge, particularly with card tricks and close-up magic, garnered him respect among magicians, and he was a mentor to other magicians. Okay, kids, we're going to do a little trick with the 4 aces. And what I want to do is I want to take the 4 aces and I want to start turning them face up like this right here, one by one. But I want to do it in a magical way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the cards a little twist like this right here. And what that does is that brings the ace of diamonds up. Now if I do that again, just a little twist like this right here, and you'll see that now, this time, it's the ace of clubs that comes up. Now, we'll turn that card back over and we'll do it again. Just a little twist, and just like that, this time, it's the ace of hearts. Now, let's bring all the cards back to that beginning again, and we'll try that one more time with the ace of spades. Give the cards just a little twist like this right here. And oh no, it didn't work. We'll try it one more time. A little twist like this right here. And still, it didn't work. Well, what happened? I have a feeling that it's because the ace of spades has much more ink on it than the rest of the cards, which makes it weigh a whole lot heavier. So, if I give them a little twist like this, and then I give it just a little pop, like this right here, what happens? Then it comes face up. And there you go, folks. I gave those aces a little twist, and all of them came face up one by one.
Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.